So.
Travel with your hosts, Bryan and Paul Honor.
And what, Darth Vader? What are you doing here? Get off my.
I'm your co-host.
Welcome to our May 4th episode of the Road Less Traveled, number 32, with our very, very special guest, Dale Thompson of Bride and Perpetual Paranoia. And I probably would waste a whole hour naming everything he's been into and doing in the last few years. So we'll let Dale talk about that when time comes. Welcome, Dale.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
And Bryan, what's going on? Anything new?
I don't know. The guy on the show here, our guest, is new to me. What's your name again?
Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, nice to meet you.
Thompson to you, sir.
So you want me to start with music, and I'll do the Reader's Digest version because I want to have some fun.
Yes.
All right. So I kind of follow this guy, and he has a bunch of good CDs. I don't like blues or jazz or whatever it is, blues, but this is really good, Dale. You swung me over to that side.
Yeah, jazz is a bit different. You know how a musician knows when to take a solo in jazz?
Is this a joke?
The first one, it makes it to the solo.
What? I just woke up, so I think I missed it.
First musician that makes it to the solo gets to play the solo.
Is it okay? I finally got it. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I'll try to keep up.
Yep. So now a lot of people's favorite, and these two go hand to hand with me for me. So like those. Oh, and I always add this as the Triple Crown. That one's really good too. Personal Savior is one of my favorite songs. One of the newer ones. And then at the time, I guess you guys weren't doing anything, so they made a best of.
Yeah, that's one of our retirement disc.
And then, of course, the acoustic one, which is really surprisingly good.
Yes, I was surprised myself.
You were shocked. I really love the artwork on this. I mean, it's just really cool looking.
Yeah, the music's not too bad.
Who did this one?
What's that?
Who did the art?
The same guy that does all of our stuff, Raphael.
Oh, okay, good, because he did our last one too. He's really good.
Yeah.
That one. And an underrated one, and I know they did a remaster, but I'm not going to get it because I already have this one, but I really like this.
That's the second worst album cover ever.
Right, but I like the music.
They put a lot of thought into that cover. Rugged Records did.
Because it dropped. So then it brings me to one of my favorite bands, because you're in it.
Yes, that's a good one.
And lots of memories and a friendship built.
There it is. Yep. Yeah, is there 3, 4? Wow. I've lost
count. We're on our 4th one coming out on the 30th, and then I'm also wearing this for today.
Wow. I don't even have a Bride shirt.
You can go to Anchor Merchandising.
I can't afford it, Bryan. I can't. They can't afford it.
And this just came in mail yesterday, and I haven't listened to it yet because I've been busy. I did a Bible study and wrote a song. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. I told you that I'd do the Reader's Digest version. On with it, Paul.
Right. So if I was going to go with my Bride stuff, I would have to start here on my list, on my shelf, and get to here. And then my Christmas albums with the Christmas stuff. So I think I got like 25 Bride albums, including the 2 new ones, which I've listened to both of them twice already and love them.
Oh, so good. That's
good. If you're into Bride and you didn't know this was out yet, this new albums and the Lost Reels number 4, I got 1, 2, and 3. Lost Reels 4 feels like a regular album to me. It doesn't feel like throwaways. It's good stuff. So bridepub.com. get out there and get yours before they're gone, because I understand you posted recently that once they're gone, that's it. There's not going to be any more made, correct?
That is correct, and we are down to bare bones. We hope we have enough to take to Brazil when we tour with Striper in July. So we may not, which means if we don't, then we won't have any for Immortal Fest. But we may put back a few for Immortal Fest just in case.
So
not everybody orders stuff offline. So
instant collectible. Hold on, this is like buying stocks right here. This will go up. What I'm listening to this week, Spiritual Shining Force, their Spiritual Warfare album. They're a Rocks Record band. Pillar this week, Old Standby. And Doom, if you like Doom sound, Place of Skulls. You want to really check those guys out. Excellent music. So that's what I've been listening to. Dale, what are you listening to this week?
You'll have to remind me of the names of I know it's the Bloodgood Detonation. That was one of the introductions to Bloodgood. I just finished watching the Bloodgood movie, which I found really, really good, and it resonated with me. You know, a lot of the same things that they had to go through, we've gone through. You know, almost at exactly the same time between record labels and bad concert tours, and you know, the people protesting your shows, people threatening you if you do play a show, and so it really resonated with me to watch the Bloodgood documentary.
In the trenches.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we started it last night and watched it, not all night because we had to go to bed, but picked it back up today. So yeah, we just kept watching it over and over, but it was just So that was that was a very powerful album. And listen to some Sacred Warrior and some Fear Not, and you know, you just sort of, I don't really sit down and just listen to an album anymore. I don't listen to a lot of music anymore because I do so much writing. You know, when I get back from walking the dogs, you know, 5 or 6 in the morning, I go right into writing until breakfast. And after breakfast is more writing. And that's what I was doing, you know, this morning between 6 o'clock and probably 8:30. You know, I just try to stay busy being creative. And if I want to listen to something, it's according to what kind of mood I'm in. A lot of times it's just ambient stuff, no vocals, just music.
Very good.
So what about your new book? Want to talk about that?
It's coming out in September, Tales that Terrify. It's, you know, they're calling it a horror short story book. It's about 18 stories. It's not all horror, and it's not gruesome whatsoever. It is scary, more psychological aspects, you know, dealing with good versus evil. So a few monsters here and there, a couple of ghosts here and there. You know, just, you know, once you get into it, you'll see the way that I write. And pretty much every story, you know, has me in it. You know, I'm either the main character named Bob or James or something. You know, I'll be the main character. So if you want to read it, just put me in those positions, especially if it's the hero. I don't write myself as the villain. But yeah, it's coming out in September. It's on Velox Books, Velox Publishing, and 2 will follow that. This is volume 1. Then the next 2 will follow, and they're going to follow the thing. There's a big eyeball on the front of this one. So the next 2 will have different color eyeballs so that you can tell volume 1, 2, and 3.
Sweet.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. And it's already up on Kindle and Amazon, and you can buy it at all the Barnes and Nobles. But yeah, well, go ahead and buy it now. You can get the Kindle version for like $1. So
yeah, it's 99 cents. I did it.
Yeah. So nobody has an excuse why they can't support me like 99 cents. So, you know, the book is probably 16, 17, wherever you buy it at. Different stores put different price tags on the books, you know, what they go for. But I found Amazon was probably about the cheapest if you wanted to buy a paperback and bring it to a show, and I'll personalize it for you. So that would be cool. I'd like to see who's actually buying what. So yeah, definitely bring it with your CDs, especially Immortal Fest. If you come out to Immortal Fest and all, I guess bring it. So Oh, you won't have it then because it doesn't come out to September. So I'll tell you what to do. You just bring a piece of paper and I'll sign it. You can put it in the book. And yeah,
So it's exciting that you've got the book coming out. You've got the double CD came out, the Lost Reels 4. So tell us about what's coming next. I mean, I know you guys, I remember when you said never do live shows again and never do
Mhm.
live shows. I think I've had 4 of your This Is Our Last Album Ever of those at least. So, and so after the second or third time, I thought, there'll be more. I'm not gonna get dejected because there's gonna be more.
Well, this Vipers and Shadows may very well be the last physical album that we do. We may go ahead and, I'm sure we'll write some songs and stuff and put those out. But the market isn't supportive of CDs anymore. It's kind of an old way of doing things. So we may just put everything out streaming and digital and all that. But it is an end of an era for Bride, because the last 4 albums have been these massive productions, lots of guitars, lots of vocals. We stretched the songs out, but that's the end of an era. Just like there was an end to the first 3 albums, an end to Kinetic Face Snakes, Scarecrow. There's an end to this 4 albums that we've just done. So the future of Bride, we're still debating on what we're doing, but Troy and I will be writing stuff probably quite a bit more raw, a whole lot less overdubs, and just like we used to in the old days when we just go and plug in and play. And so that's probably what you're going to hear in probably 2026, 2027. Other than that, with Bride, we've got some shows going. The people are not knocking our doors down for us to play. Everybody wants us to play in their city, but nobody knows a single promoter in that city to book the band. So if you don't have a promoter, you don't have a venue, it's called dreaming. Dreams are free, but concerts are not. So you have to find somebody that is willing to put up some bucks and sponsor the band when they come in, because we'll play anywhere, but we are doing a show a couple of weeks in Lancaster, Ohio. That's going to be a Rock House 39. That's going to be a good time. We'll be Mortal Fest playing on the 30th. We'll be the last band of that night, Saturday night playing. We're doing a tour with Stryper in July. Go down there with Stryper and Narnia, and then we have back to Brazil in December, and Costa Rica in December. Mexico's at the end of this month. We're going to do Mexico at the end of this month with Les Carlson, John Schlitt, Jamie Rowe, and Mike Lee. It's a voice legends of vocals or something like that it's called. So they invited me to come. So I'm taking Troy with me because I don't play the tracks. We are what you call a raw, glorified garage band. And so I don't use in-ears and I don't use backing tracks and all of that. What you see is what you get. We plug in and play. And then I think we're going to be in Western Kentucky in January. And after that, we have no shows booked. Coming out this year, we got We Are Resolute. Yahoo! We've got Swingle and Thompson Ordain. We've got Not of This World May or May Not be coming out. It's according to how quickly Clay puts everything together that we've done. The World Will Burn will be out this year. Then also the other project I'm proud of is the Boondogs. This is the first Boondogs on Girder Records. So we'll see how well that does. And thanks, to the hard work of Austin Dodig, who saved this album, the new Boondogs called Smoke and Mirror, saved this thing from the rubbish bin. People that I was working with, they sort of bailed out on me, left me in the lurch. And then Austin stepped up and said, I'll do it. So he came in, and what wasn't finished, Austin finished on it and mixed and mastered it. And he also is the one that mixed and mastered Lost Reels 4, the Bride that just came out. So he's been a real lifesaver. He was really dedicated and put a lot into it, a lot more than I put into the Boondogs, because all I did was write lyrics and sing. He labored extensively over the tracks to make it come out, and it really did. It shines. It's a good album.
Shouldn't that be
So-
called Lost and Found Reels?
Maybe.
So if you're singing it, you pretty much wrote it, correct?
Yes. For the most part, let's see, on these albums coming out now, Swingle and Thompson, Randy, usually he would have a line or two that he wanted in the song. He might have even wrote a chorus, said, hey, I want the chorus to be this or that. And then I would write around what Randy wanted in the song. But pretty much, yeah, I mean, all the lyrics would be mine, yeah.
Except for
So War is the
Oh
exception.
yeah, We Are Resolute, yeah. Which
Yeah.
since I don't remember any of the We Are Resolute songs, I don't know which ones I wrote.
You
If it's
gave me
got fire or reconciliation or all men saved in it, it's probably me.
you had that one line, and I can't remember what song. Full Armor, I think. It's something about standing on holy ground was way better than the line I had, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that, Dale. Good job.
Well, I plagiarized that from the Bible, so I really didn't write it. So.
Right, but you noticed a better line for me, which helps the song big time.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that too much.
So you've got like literally 4 or 5 albums with 4 or 5 different bands at any given time coming out in a year, right?
It has been that way. Yeah, people say I've oversaturated the market with myself, but if you're a bricklayer and somebody asks you to brick a school building, you brick it. If they ask you while you're bricking that school building, do you have time to brick a house? You don't go no. If you have the resources, you brick the house. So my thing is, hey, I need the money. Pay me, and I'll sing your song.
Cool. So what's this? I mean, obviously the inspiration is God, the Holy Spirit, Scripture. So you're writing 30, 40, 50 songs a year easily, plus a book.
Probably about 100 songs a year. The ones that I've got backlog for Bride, yeah.
A book. How do you do what's your writing process? How do you go about doing that?
Well, yeah, I probably write about 100 songs a year, and I probably write about 100 short stories a year, which would be the short stories are 5,000 to 8,000 words per story. So an average book is about 60,000 words. You get up into epic novels about 100, 120,000 words. So yeah, I'm writing epic novels in short story form all year long. I just have a vivid imagination, and I come up with plots and characters, and usually something I want to say, something I want to appeal to the audience with. If I ever get hung up, I just open my Kindle and go to the vocabulary and see what words I've saved that I really want to use in a story. And I'll find a word like perpendicular. And I'll be like, okay, I'm starting the next line with the word perpendicular, and I'm going to write off that and see where it goes. And the next paragraph or two will be launched off that one peculiar word that I've decided to showcase. Songs are a bit easier, though. Songs are you're trying to say something with fewer words, and sometimes it's better because it's not how much you write, but what you leave out that makes anything good.
Yep.
Because I've tried to read some of these epic novels, War and Peace. Yeah, it's after about 100 pages. It makes for good fire, for starters, because I don't have that sort of patience. So I like to write the short stories because somebody can get through the short stories in 30, 40 minutes each. And then if not, you leave off at a spot and finish the story tomorrow. Surely somebody can read for 15 minutes, so in 2 15-minute sections, you've read one of the short stories. And the stories are about, good and evil, mainly. And I try to be as wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. I try not to put anything offensive in there. There's, it's, when you're dealing with good and evil, you got to speak about the devil, and I can speak of him literally or metaphorically according to however anybody wants to believe in the devil. But yeah, I mean, I just stay inspired with stuff. I wrote a story yesterday, 6,000 words. It's a funny story. I won't tell you, but anyway, it's funny. And then today I've got 3,000 words already written on a sci-fi story I'm writing, which I don't have a market for that, but I do have a book ready with short stories of sci-fi. I figure when I'm dead and gone, I'll be really famous. So that's important to me.
So when you sit down to write a story, do you have it mapped out? Do you have like an outline? Do you know where it's going to end, or you just start writing? And because when I write,
Start writing.
yeah, I do the same thing. I've written
The endings are always a surprise for me.
For me too.
Like,
and I've talked to these authors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to have an outline and have an end point." And I'm like, when I'm writing, I have no idea how the story. I'm reading the story with myself.
Well, the way I know to end it is like, you might think, well, I need the rest of the afternoon to write this to finish it. And then you write a paragraph and it's like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what it is. You know when the story's over,
Yeah, you do. And
if you don't, you can write forever. So.
Yeah. And that's so cool because I don't think I've ever met anybody that writes the way that I tackle it, where, like you said, the ending's a surprise to you. And often the ending's a surprise to me. And I'm thinking, wow, that was really cool. And it's like, well, I wrote it, but still was cool because it was unexpected.
I just wrote a Christian book, which I don't write a lot of only Christian material. It's called Time of Refreshing, and it's about 60,000 words. And I wrote it just this past month. It took me about a month to write it, but it's a dystopian world, a city that's turned into Sodom and Gomorrah, big Babylonian mess, and these Christians within are wanting to take a campaign of revival to the streets, but they're under all this oppression, and people get ahead of God. And I write about the setbacks, how you try to do things before it's time, and you have to wait, and you have to wait till God moves you. You don't just move on your own. So I show all these failures until the end when it's time. And then somebody steps up and, they're able to take the gospel into the city. And they were surprised too that there was that many other people that believe that they were just afraid to come out of the shadows. So it's something that I'm going to try to get a literary agent to help me shop it, because the book world is more difficult than the music world to be read. So.
No, that's for sure. Hey, Bryan, you want to go to comments? I'll pull some comments up.
All
right.
Somebody's actually watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is Paul's wife, so I guess that still counts. She said she's excited about the show. Of course you count, Chrissy.
And there.
And Paula, is this a family affair? This is his daughter says, hello, excited for the show. So are we. Iron Will, he says, yo. I was chatting with Iron Will earlier today. Now, what is that? I guess
the link, I think the link he tried to get on our show with sent him to another show or another broadcast. And then he said,
just go to Paul's Facebook page.
Oh, and my other daughter, Tina's on. So I got both my girls and my wife on today. So yay.
He paid them all.
I paid them all.
Yeah, where's the outside of the family people?
Iron Will.
That's funny.
Outside. So we'll go back to comments in a little bit. And if anybody has any questions or anything that they want to shoot to Dale, throw them in the comment section and we'll address those as well. And so you came to America from New Zealand, correct?
Yes.
That was kind of an ordeal getting here?
Beyond an ordeal because of Joe Biden and his idiocy. He made it almost impossible for Americans to get back into the United States because he flooded the immigration department with millions of illegals. So instead of saying America first, which we have now under Donald Trump, we had take a number, take a seat. We don't care if you are a citizen of the United States or not. So thankfully, Trump is ending that nonsense. It took me 2 years to get my wife from when we started to get into the United States legally, and that we went through the legal channels. So it's thousands and thousands of dollars, and it took a long time. If you walked across the border, hey, you're in here. We'll put you on a bus, take you up north, give you a job, give you a hotel, give you a cell phone,
Give you food stamps.
Food stamp. They give you all that stuff, right? So I don't have anything against anybody except Joe Biden and his administration. I don't blame people for trying to flee oppression. I don't blame people for trying to immigrate. But if you're illegal, you're breaking the law. Now, with that said, it did take a lot to get me to the U.S. with my wife. The story is massively long. My house in New Zealand still hasn't sold. So at this point, we're bleeding money. It's an artery. It costs quite a bit to send my dogs over here. So everything to do with coming back to the United States meant to thousands of dollars that you had to put in to make it here. And now we're here, and we're waiting to see what happens next. So we're really in limbo. We made a jump of faith, a big leap of faith. And, there isn't times when we scratch our head and wondering, what in the world have we done? Why did we come back to this place? But we're here now. So, it's in God's hands. I've let go of the wheel because I don't know which way to turn it.
Yeah.
Well, just keep taking those steps and let him guide the path, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, you cannot change things that you cannot change. You can't, and there's no reason to worry over things that you cannot change, because those things will torment you. So you keep yourself busy, and you try to stay as viable and as you possibly can, which I do in the music world. I try to post every day something. People probably get tired of me. I know people that do not like me within the Christian music business. They don't want to see my face pop up on their news feed, and I'm probably blocked, or at least 30 days snoozed by plenty of people just because they see too much of me. But, that's on them. I don't dislike them, even if they are dead wrong about things. I don't dislike them, and I'm not even trying to change them. I'm a simple human being getting through this world the best that I can under the same obstacles everybody else is, and watching the Bloodgood documentary was just a reminder that anybody that was in a band during that time went through immense persecution, and not from the secular world, but from the church itself.
Yep.
And then when people ask me, I say, well, do you have a home church? No, I don't have a home church. How come? Watch the Bloodgood documentary and you'll know why I don't have a home church. I have what they call fellowship. A church is not a building. A church is a people. So people need to remember that. I don't have to belong to a denomination.
Nope.
And call myself Christian. So anyway, sounds like I'm angry, but I'm not.
Just so you know, Dale, I am trying to get the feelers out there to try to get you guys to come here. I saw a post, a comment from Ray Parra said that he would like to have Bride and Sacred Warrior do a show. So I reached out to a couple places. One church was a no-go because they don't have the money for it. But I emailed a secular place. It's called The Intersection in Grand Rapids. And I saw Striper there and Skillet. And so they do Christian bands. So I'm waiting to get a response. If they respond, I'll contact you as soon as I can. So
yeah, man, I love Ray and the guys, man. They're spectacular. Ray, when all of us started, I think all of us bands were in competition. So we were young and we were all arrogant. Every single band was arrogant to a degree. I was arrogant, and we were all in a competition to be better than the other guy. And that's just because of our youth. We were young. Then as we got older, then you start appreciating the other bands, the bands that you didn't listen to for one reason or the other. And suddenly you're blown away and you're hearing, or I always listen for the vocal, and you're hearing vocals that you hadn't heard before. So suddenly, I'm falling in love with Ray Parra's vocal. Les Carlson
can sing.
Vocal. Oh yeah. You're falling in love with all these different vocals and vocals that you took for granted, that you wouldn't give the time of day to because you were doing your thing, that type of thing. So yeah, I didn't think anything bad about nobody, but I just thought, well, I got to be better than them, And
Didn't the record labels kind of push that in you though? You're young and impressionable, and they were pushing that because you had the charts. Things were different back then than they are now.
things were a lot different back then. The record companies are responsible for 90% of the aggravation and the hurt that artists have to go through with these gigantic promises, these really bad record deals. And they're like, well, if you didn't like the deal, why'd you sign it? It's because you had it written by an entertainment attorney, and even you don't know what it says. You paid him to beat us. I literally took our contract into Star Song Records when we were doing Kinetic Faith, Snakes in the Playground, and I laid it on the table in front of Main Cat, the president. I'm not going to call no names. And I basically said, explain this to me. He said, I can't. That's for my attorneys to explain. They don't even know what they say. So why would I sign another deal? The next deal I signed, you give me $1 million cash, I'll do you an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't do another album probably. So there you have it. They're lost. But yeah, I mean, it is a shame. It's a shame that they pushed the bands. Here's what the record companies used to want you to do. They wanted you to do this album, right? You're going to do an album. They're going to charge you $40,000, say, to do the album. We're giving you $40,000 to do this album. Oh, great. Do you see a penny of that $40,000? No. Supposedly, it goes into putting the album together. So you pay the artwork. Well, who is operating the artwork? Somebody's wife that works for the company. That's their artist. Who does the studio? Somebody's associated with the record company. So they get that. And then that you never get a breakdown, never get an itemized statement of anywhere this money is going. Next thing you know, you're like, well, where's my royalty check? Oh, you got to pay that back. It's called cross-collateralization. So you're paying back all that money that we just gave you. So you never gave me a dime to begin with, did you? No, but you inflated the price to $40,000. What did it really cost? I know how much it really cost. About $5,000. So they're paying to keep the lights on in the record company building, a big building. Star Song was massive, man. It was huge. I mean, there's people running around everywhere. What do all these people do? I don't know. I know they had Prince's ex-guitar player working for them. So he had to be getting pretty good money, I would think. Maybe he was getting some of my money. I don't know. But anyway, I'm glad those days are done because all these young bands coming up don't have to be taken advantage of. You've got the internet. You can promote on your own. You're probably going to do the same promotion everybody else is going to do for you anyway. Just stay vigilant, stay busy, stay on there, find the outlets. You might have to spend a little money once in a while to boost your post. If you're not, it gets buried really quick. But do that instead of like having a record company pretending they're doing you a favor, calling you their flagship, and then sinking you a couple of months later.
I don't think the distribution deals are too bad. It's helping We Are Resolute out there. We're not making any money, but it's getting our name out there, and having you helps.
Well, we normally do distribution deals through Retroactive, and that's for Bride, and then of course you have Rocks Records, and then you have Gerger Records. So the main three that I know of, and I work with all three of those guys, and every single one of them are on the up and up. They're all good guys, and they'll do your albums for you. Except this time, it didn't make sense for us to go through any of those guys with this album. This is our 40th year anniversary. I wanted it to be something special, and it was going to cost them more than they were willing to give us.
Okay.
To start, so we've already made our money back, which is big time.
That's good.
So we have nothing left to recoup for the album. So that we made ourselves a better deal than what anybody would have offered us. So we made the right decision this time. Up until this album, Vipers and Shadows, we needed Retroactive, to basically buy the album from us. But we don't need that on this album. But they will later on distribute anything that they have bought from us.
Are you Thompson Records now?
What's that?
Is it Thompson Records?
It's Father of the Bride Music.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. I love that.
So anyway, I really wanted to work with Retro hand in hand on this one, but Matt's busy. So he can't turn every bit of his attention to us when he's dealing with all of these other bands.
Right.
So he has to do things that's right and smart for him and for his business. And that's why we had to do the same. We had to do what was smart for us. So that's why that right now you can get the album on the Bride website, bridepub.com.
Cool.
So, double album, was that a much greater effort? I mean, obviously it's a much greater effort, but talk about the process of putting together a double album versus a single. Because
well, it's just putting in double the time, really. And Troy and I usually always have many leftover songs that just don't make the album for one reason or the other. Maybe we started it, didn't finish it, shelved it, forgot about it. But this time I was like, well, let's do a double album. Let's not have any throwaway songs. So there's no throwaway songs on the double album. We made sure we finished all the songs properly. We went back, we rewrote some parts, but I still recorded all of the vocals in New Zealand and not in the same room with Troy. What I'm excited about for the future is writing songs with Troy face to face and getting back to the Bride formula that we used to have. The Snake Eyes, Here Is Your God, Are You Awake, Vipers and Shadows, Lost Reels 4. That's 5 albums that I did not know what Troy was sending me at all. He sent me music. I said, yeah, I like it, or I don't like it. Can you change this? Whatever. And I would do vocals, send them back. He'd say, I like it. I don't like it. Change this. I'd do it. Boom. Then the album, Troy finished it up with all of his mastery of, creativity and stuff that he puts into the albums. He played all the violins, all the cellos. There's none of that keyboard stuff. It's all him playing. There is a keyboard song that we used, a Brazilian guy, because he was a Grammy Award winner. Matter of fact, the drummer played on the album, Alexander Aposton. He's a Grammy Award-winning drummer. So we had 2 Grammy Award-winning guys, Troy and I, Dove Award receivers. So we had some real talent on this album. So it's really good. You're going to love it. It just sounds like Hollywood all over again.
yeah, and so there's been the detractors, and I don't want to talk about negative stuff that have been, oh, Bride changed their sound from album to album. And this, to me, is definitive. When I listen to this, I'm listening to the drums, I'm listening to the music, I'm listening to the vocals, and it's like, this is Bride. This puts me in that place that I felt like I was in the 90s when I was discovering you guys' music for the first time. And it's like, this is definitively a Bride album. So if you think you're going to get some thing that doesn't sound like Bride, you're wrong. I mean, if you're hesitant to buy this.
Yeah, this is definitely more of us. Because the first 3 albums, regardless of what anybody says, that was not us. That was us allowing Steve Osborne to add that metal element that we didn't have because we thought we had to be a metal band.
And that's going back to the Silence is Madness. And
Live to Die and Show No Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve brought that element, and then we had a thrashy drummer, Stephen Rowland, aka Steve Gilbert. He just thrashed. He was, insane drummer, really, really insane. And then when we switched over to do Kinetic Faith, we brought in, it was a whole new band. We should have just changed the name at that time because we brought in Rick Foley and Jerry McBroom. And then we added the groove element that Troy liked to play because Steve Gilbert at the time, he couldn't play groove on the drums. And I don't even know what was going on. We had 3 or 4 bass players at the time, and we really liked Frank Portapillo a whole lot. And I don't know why Frank didn't keep playing with us, but anyway, he didn't. Maybe it was us, maybe it was him at the time. I don't remember. But Frank's always remained a friend to us, and he is the new Bride live in the States. Frank's our man, and he'll be playing with us in Lancaster and in up there in Versailles for Immortal Fest. But once we started this groove thing with Rick and Jerry, we really found ourselves. And that's when we started writing smart music, good music, memorable music, not just chants, but actual melodies and good choruses. And that's when our live show developed. Because if you're just thrashing out, it's hard to do a really good live show because you're just looking at your fretboards the whole time, making sure you're in the right key because things are going by so fast. But this way, we were able to do a lot of grooving. And throughout the years, we've thrown some more metal in with Skin for Skin, and Zarbama had some. But that was Steve coming back into the mix and playing on the albums. So we catered to him because to this day, I still think he's the most incredible heavy metal guitar player of all times. Not just because he played for us, because he played with a lot of people, but he was amazing guitarist, amazing person. And so anytime he come in, he changed our style a bit, because Troy encouraged him to. But on these last 4 albums, it's been Troy, on the guitar, and he just shines with creativity. He's not running scales up and down. He's not doing all this Yngwie stuff, which is fine for some people. Troy is just writing really creatively. It's if you put your headphones on and listen to what's going on, it'll blow your mind.
Dale, you just said it right there at the end, blow your mind, because when we had Troy do some stuff for one of our albums, he emailed me or messaged me and said, if you don't like it, you can just throw it away and you don't have to pay me. But after John and I were done picking our jaws off the floor, we're like, are you kidding me?
Well, somebody asked Troy, how does he approach guitar? Troy never picks up the guitar and rehearses the guitar. Troy picks up a guitar to write a song.
That's how I do it.
Troy already has the chops. Troy already has the licks. He can already play in key, play in time and all that stuff. So now he picks the guitar up and he tries to write a song, and it just works. And he will. I mean, we could do an album every 2 months. We could do 10 songs every 2 months easy, and we could keep that up for as long as we have breath.
And he can play anything. You guys have those videos where you're doing cover tunes and stuff, and it's just like, and you do it Bride style.
Yeah, well, he plays piano every night upstairs. Him and his wife. He's up there playing piano, and they're singing away, and so it's kind of cool,
Yeah,
he's hooked on some Journey song now. He keeps playing that thing over and over again.
Well, this is a thing I made off. I got the thumb drive where you guys did the covers, and then I transferred those onto a CD so I could listen to it in my car, and I made my own little album cover of it based on
cool.
the insert that you guys sent with it.
Okay, we got him. He's under arrest.
So I love the covers, and I love when you guys share them and stuff. How did that evolve? How did you guys come up with that idea?
I don't really remember. I think the first one we did was the REM song, "Everybody Hurts," I think. But I remember shooting it at the beach. It was weird because people were walking by and I'm singing away, trying to listen to my cell phone, because it's playing on there, and people were walking by staring. And Adelinda's, she's trying to keep me in the frame, and the wind was blowing really hard. I'm not really for sure how that got started, but once we started, then we just wanted to do our favorite songs that we really like. We did a couple that probably wasn't both of our favorites, because I have more of an eclectic taste in music probably than Troy. Troy, he likes, the poppy stuff, yacht rock, they call some of it. If you hang out with Troy at his pool here, you'll hear a lot of Hall & Oates, things like that. Once in a while Metallica will pop on, but that's I don't know. I'm more like listening to Leonard Cohen. I'd probably listen to Leonard Cohen before I listen to Metallica. But
you guys did a really good job on that. Was it War Pigs from Black Sabbath?
Yeah,
that turned out good. I don't know what I was wearing in the video, but it looked pretty weird. That was me. Like looked like I didn't have a costume, so I just threw a black cape over myself. I looked like that dude from Star Wars. Matter of fact, the guy with the bloodshot eyes creeping around.
Oh, is that Seth or Sith? The Sith?
The Sith Lord. Yeah.
It wasn't what I was going for, but it sort of turned out that way.
I'm gonna pop over to our comments real quick. We don't have as many as we usually do, but
That's because it's me. I'm scary.
No,
Daniel
it's
and
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Justin are also listening. So hey guys, good to have you here. After we post this and list it, it'll blow up. It's just the time of day on a Sunday is
Yep.
weird for us.
Oh, people are
I
probably
think,
at Cracker Barrel.
for live viewers.
I will tell you this though.
Well, that's
Since
what
I've
my
been
son
back,
said.
I ate at Cracker Barrel 3 times since I've been back. I've ate at Waffle House once. Waffle House
My wife
blew Cracker Barrel away.
So my wife and my son both work at Cracker Barrel here off the interstate. So if you
It's
ever
got
come
to
down
be
this
better
way,
than here. It's got to be better than Brooks, Kentucky.
come check them out. Leah said she's lost track of time, but she's with us now.
Hello, Leah.
And she said that War Pigs was great. And Chris said time is different. And she's giving a hearts to Cracker Barrel because she works.
And
there.
Joyce Carlton is watching. Hello, Joyce.
Hey, Joyce.
We enjoyed the interview with her and
Joyce
Les Carlton.
West. Yeah,
I've been watching her on that Bloodgood movie.
Yep.
It never dawned on me. I'll tell you how out of touch I am. I see Les at Immortal, and there's a woman on stage, and they start singing. I'm like, man, I wonder where he got her at. She's really good. And then it dawned on me, must be his wife. I said, oh, he's got his wife singing. Man, they're really good together. I had no idea that they had a thing years ago. You know what it was just. See, I don't know anything that goes on. So when people question me, I don't know if they're looking for answers. I don't know what to tell them because I don't have any. But anyway, I was quite impressed. I was like, man, they're really good. And it was like, oh, that's her in the movie too. Oh, gotcha. So anyway, I'm slow to the party.
Well, if you get a chance, watch the interview that we did with Les and Joyce. It's really good. They're just a blast to interview. So
they've got to be more uplifting than I am.
Well, no, this is great because for me, back in '92. When did Kinetic Faith come out? Like 92, 93, somewhere.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I was just coming out. I was just getting back in the church, just coming out of secular music, just giving up my dream of being a rock star in a secular band.
91.
All right. So we meet this couple at church, and they're like, "You got to check this band out. You got to check these guys out." And I'm like, "All right, Christian music. I'll check it out." And I'm like, "Whoa!" It was Kinetic Faith, and I wore that thing out. And that started me on my journey to get rid of, my connection to secular music, delve deep into the Christian rock world. And it was like White Cross, Bloodgood, and Bride were like my top 3 at that. And I was just it was all cassette at the time. And I was just wearing everybody out. And that was one of those albums that I probably still know a lot of the lyrics to because I listened to it so much during that time. So,
well, our history, Troy and I, history in Christian rock music goes all the way back to about the late 1982, and then in like '83, we were out playing as Matrix. Troy and I was. Mm-hmm. We had a band called Matrix, and we did Matrix for about 2 years before we turned into Bride in '85. So, man, we go back a long ways playing Christian rock. It was all because of one guy, a guy named Billy Sutherland. There was a band here in Louisville called Asher, and Billy Sutherland was a guru guitarist extraordinaire even back then. And he played with the voice box and played with the wah and played with the flange, and he had all the cool effects. And at the time, I thought maybe I wanted to be a bass player or something, guitar player, play a little guitar. But when his band broke up, he needed a bass player. And I'm like, oh, that's me. But I didn't own a bass. I never played a bass. Didn't know how to play a bass. So I went and bought a bass guitar and an amp, and I showed up for tryouts for his new band. And he told me right away, he goes, "You don't know how to play, do you?" And I'm like, "Nope." And it's sort of like, but I'm a professional musician. Yep. I said, "I think I'm supposed to play with you." Well, he hired me and he taught me to play bass so I could play in his band.
Wow.
And that led one thing to another. and I ended up leaving, and me and Troy decided to start a band, and we called it Matrix, that later developed into Bride. But Billy Sullivan was the reason that probably Troy and myself are still doing this today.
So Dale, you need surgery? I'm a doctor. I can do it now.
I'm done with surgeries. I don't care what comes
Right?
up. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done with them. So
Yeah, well, I got some of the Matrix stuff on CD that I guess M8 released together with like some compilation stuff.
yeah.
So I got some of that, and I've always enjoyed listening to that. And even though I know that there was a big giant difference from the early stuff, the Matrix stuff, the first 3 Bride albums, to what you guys became, I still like that. I still like that hair metal sound. I still enjoy listening to those.
Well, the early stuff, I was influenced by. I mean, we were listening to the Police. We were listening to the Cars. We were listening to very early U2, like on Boy, The Alarm. That was what I was listening to. And then as I eased into more of the contemporary stuff, that's when Resurrection Band was crossed my listening ears. And then I was hooked. It was like, holy cow, these guys are something. But it was the Kerry Livgren Seas of Change album, actually in 1980, that I was like, if I was ever going to sound like anybody or be compared to anybody vocally, it would have to be this guy that sings on To Live for the King and Mask of the Great Deceiver. And that was Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
Who there's brilliant vocalists out there, far better than I am. But his name always goes to the top of the heap when I start thinking of great heavy metal vocalists. Just the commanding voice, that's just, some guys can hit notes all day long, but do they have a commanding voice? That's what I was looking for. And you got it in Dio. He was consistent on everything he ever did. So
Did you watch the very first, like when MTV launched? Did you get into that or not?
Yeah, I would go
I did.
over to my old bassist, Scott Hall, who was the original bassist in Bride. And I would go over to his house on Friday nights or whatever for whatever it was called.
Headbangers Ball.
Headbangers Ball. We watched Headbangers
good job.
Ball. Yeah. Yeah. So we were watching all that in the day. Yeah. It used to be a pretty decent channel. So, if you want a good music. Yeah. Yeah. Until reality TV took over.
Yeah, and now music television has no music on it. So.
Yeah, sad.
There used to be a Christian one called Z Music, but it didn't last very long. You guys familiar with that one or not?
It rings a bell, but there was a pretty good period of time there where I just didn't listen to any Christian music whatsoever. It just bummed me out so bad. I wanted something that lifted me up, not drag me down. And this, people talk about praise and worship. That's good for some people, but I don't listen to praise and worship music because it reminds me of every writer in Nashville who come together in this congregation of people. They sit in this circle and they write a song, and it's done to a formula. It's done just like the song
7-Eleven.
Yeah, and then the churches get it, and they post it on the big board, and everybody reads the lyrics off the big board. And I don't know. Big stuff scares me. So
for me, the chorus might be really good 4 times, but when you're getting into the 11th and 15th time, I don't feel like I'm worshiping anymore. I feel like I'm kind of forcing it.
I go in when that happens in church. I just turn off the music and I just worship the Lord in my heart at that point.
But it's still hard. It's still hard to do, though.
No, I can tune out, man. I can. A tornado could be going through the room, and if I'm focused, it ain't even gonna affect me.
I have a hard time. I tell Leah all the time I probably have ADHD, but they didn't like throw medicine at you back in the 70s and stuff.
No, they grounded you. They put you in a corner. They whopped you with a board.
Exactly. Now they're just like, take meds.
Yeah. Take the meds and sit back in the back and be quiet. Yeah.
So let's talk quickly because we're getting close to time, and I don't know if you're able to stay over or if you're on a hard stop at the hour mark. But quickly, I want to talk about the spiritual aspect of the ministry you do, and how that shapes everything. You know, obviously it shapes your lyrics, it shapes everything. So let's share with that for a minute.
I started actually ministering out of my parents' garage when I was 15. I had a weekly service that I did on Wednesdays, I think it was, and the neighbors would come and sit and hear me teach the Bible. So my relationship with spiritual things goes all the way back to my childhood. I was actually baptized in the middle of winter in a creek, and so that was, if you didn't believe it, you wouldn't have jumped in the water with the preacher because it was freezing. So I've been spiritually minded since those days, and I think that the big thing is that we focus on God. We don't focus on what they call the devil. You submit yourself to God, resist the devil. It doesn't say anything about fighting the devil. It says just resist him. That's it. We're not standing toe to toe at spiritual warfare, but that spiritual warfare is already been won at Calvary. It's already been won at the cross. That's why he said, "Here, let me hand you this: the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, sword, which is the word of God, spirit of truth, the loins girded about with truth." That's why God's already equipped us. He's given us what he has. And then he says, stand behind me. You won't even have to need that unless you want to step in front and, take a beating. And that's what we often do. We're like, I can get in there. I can get in some blows. He's like, no, I've got it. I got this. Just stand back. Be still and know that I'm God, And that's one of the things that I've learned is that the less you talk about the devil, the less you rebuke the devil, the less you fight the devil, the less the devil interferes in your life. Everybody that I know that's having issues is rebuking the devil in their prayers. Why is the devil in your prayers to begin with? Supposed to be talking to God. Why have you just invited the devil into your prayer life? It makes no sense. And that's the Pentecostal, the ex-Pentecostal telling you that, is that I come out of that thing where the devil was getting all this credit, and now I can stand back and I can see when Jesus said it's finished. And if you had a good Easter sermon preached to you, you should know it's finished. That's exactly what he meant. It is finished. It's a done deal. I've paid for it. Don't worry about it. That's what people aren't getting. People think they've got to do something. People think they've got to be something. People think they've got to change. People think this and this. No, he says it's finished. You just love me and I'll do the rest. And that's, we submit ourselves unto God. He wants our body because our body is a temple of the Lord. You give God your body and the rest, that's the easy part. That is the easy part. Because anything that comes against you at that point, it's on God. God will take care of it. He already has. So when I pray, I don't pray for things. I don't pray that God does this and God does that. I always thank him for what he's already done and what he's doing, and to open my eyes that I can see it. I want to see what he's doing, and he will open your eyes so that you can see it. Now, not every time. There's things going on in all of our lives right now, yours, mine, people that might tune in on this. You don't see it happening, but it's happening. It might not be happening tomorrow. It might not be happening in a week, but it is happening. Just know that you are the most important thing to God right now. He has nobody else on his mind but you right now. That's how big he is. He can care about you right now as much as he's caring about me at the exact same time. He's no respecter of persons. The same Jesus that died on that cross, who said, I'm doing this not because of your righteousness. I'm doing this because of your sin. I loved you while you were yet in your sin. I didn't come to condemn you. I've come to bring healing. I've come to bring forgiveness. What you see here, this battered, mutilated body, is what I've done. This is my gift to you. Receive it. Eat the flesh, drink the blood, become what he is, So that's my spiritual journey from front to finish, pretty much. And then every day you just grow in it. You grow in it. You
I agree. I agree with what you've been saying, because if you can tell a difference in from when my trial started, because you know my story, to now, I think you can see a difference. I can feel it. That before I was doing what you said, I was like attacking, like trying to defend myself against what was happening instead of put my total focus on God. And since I've put the focus on God, it's just like you said, I'm standing behind him now, and I just have a joy, even though I'm still going through it, you know? So.
Well, yeah, it's just letting God fight your battles. And I often have heard that said in church, only to watch people do just the opposite by racing up to an altar and throwing themselves down. And then you hear them rebuking the devil. It's like, man, get the devil out of your life completely. Don't give him the time of day. And you know, the worst devil that I've ever, and I know people get mad at me for saying this because it does downplay the biblical devil, but the worst devil you'll ever have to fight is between your ears, right up here. That's the worst devil you will ever have to fight. He's the prince of the power of the air. Here's the heavens up here. This is the heavens. Remember that. If he's not in here,
that's very true. Very true, Dale, because we always, like, a lot of people like to say, oh, the devil made me do it. No, all he did was encourage what's already in us outside of Christ.
Well, the other point too, Scripture clearly tells us we don't understand these celestial beings, and they're far more powerful than us. That even the Archangel Michael said, the Lord rebuke you. So we don't, like you said, we don't have any business on earth standing up and telling the devil anything. And I truly agree. And the other thing is, oh, Satan was attacking me today. Really? You're that important? Because I think there's probably a world leader somewhere that he's got more attention of than you, because he's not omnipresent and he's not omniscient. And if you think that highly of yourself, that you think Satan himself was coming after you today, oh boy, we got some praying for you to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's always been my argument, to try to help people overcome that teaching that the devil is as powerful as God is, and it's a battle of good and evil. The devil's already defeated. You have to wake up to it. Without my mind, I can do nothing. We are transformed by the renewing of our minds.
Yes.
That's how we're transformed. God takes a hold of this and gives you a different thinking. You're no longer thinking like Adam, a defeated sinner saved by grace. You're thinking like Christ, who says that we are his workmanship. You know, forget that sinner saved by grace junk that they keep telling you. That man is dead and gone as if he never was. Adam is gone. If you've taken him off your back and you've stopped carrying around this corpse of a man on your back, you know, all were included in Adam, and the Bible says all are included in Christ. Get that mindset in you, and you'll see that what Jesus did was a lot more powerful than what happened to Adam in the garden. Much grace, much more abounds than sin. So think about that. That might change your theology.
Well, being a new creation in Christ, you know, it's nice to say, but we've got to embrace it. We've got to apprehend what that truly means.
Yeah,
we are a new creation in Christ. That when God looks at us, he sees Jesus.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing when you actually give the reins over. It just makes a whole different thing up here. A lot of people will say in the heart, but when we do that, we're talking about our mind.
Yeah, exactly. People talk about change of heart. It's not a change of heart. It's a change of your thinking. It's looking in the mirror and seeing a reflection coming back at you that is identical to that of Christ. You know, you want to see Jesus looking back at you.
Yeah.
Because that is your identity. People talk a big time about identity now. A Christian's identity needs to be Jesus.
Absolutely.
That's who you identify with. That's your family. You know, that's your brother. That's your savior. So
yeah, that's what I was preaching on in church today. Exactly that. Right there. Finding your identity in Christ. And if stuff up here is rotten, it's this that's sending the rottenness up there. And so you got to deal with your relationship with God.
True.
Where am I influences? What am I allowing into my life that's keeping this from being transformed as it's supposed to be, so that this honors the Lord?
From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
Well, I used to work in the judicial system, so I had to deal with a lot of bad guys, coming through, and I got to see a lot of repeat offenders come through. And the number one thing that I saw that they were doing wrong is that after they served their time and they said, "I'll never do that again," and I'm like, "Yeah, it was hard, wasn't it? Yeah, it was really, really hard. It was hard on me. And I'll never do that again." The first thing they do is they go back to the very same people they were hanging out with before, the very same people that dragged them down into the mire, into the muck, into all of that filth. And they end up going right back to the very place they said they'd never return to again. And that's because they didn't make new friends. They didn't change their habits. They didn't do those things to make their life better. They went back to what they knew, and jail didn't do them any good. They went back doing exactly the same thing they were doing before without a change. Whereas with a Christian, you've got to keep a mindset going at all times, because your mind is still flesh. You're still flesh. You can't deny it. If you're breathing, you're flesh.
Yep.
That flesh is at war with us. The flesh wants to dominate. The flesh wants to fulfill the lust. The flesh wants to fulfill the desires. And that spirit in you has got to be stronger than that flesh. So you have to oppress those things that will rise up in you. And everybody will have temptations and desires, and odd thought goes through. You just don't entertain it. You just let it go in one ear and out the other. Yeah. See, that's where that comes. One ear and out the other. Don't let it stop. Don't let it fester. Don't let it become a cancer in your brain. So
got to stay in prayer and reading the word.
Yeah. And that's, what you're talking about. It's like you were in church with me today, because that's exactly the message that I preached this morning. And you get these negative things, like the people that you were associating with when you got in trouble, and you get rid of that. But then you have to replace the negative stuff you've gotten rid of, has to be replaced with something positive.
Yep.
Because if you don't, you've created a void, and we know what's going to go in the void if we just leave it alone. Nothing good.
The Bible says the dog returns to its own vomit, right?
Yeah. And it's the evil spirit that left the body and came back and found it empty, invited its friends in. So you're in that position where now you've gotten rid of this bad thing, put something good in its place.
Yeah.
I got rid of listening to AC/DC, and then I put in its place Bride. And so that's the kind of thing that we're talking about here, is there's good things you don't just create a void in your life.
Nope.
I could just sit and look at a wall. All right, I'm not going to do these sins anymore. I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. Do something good. Replace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead. It's not that hard to find something good to do. If you're involved in your church, they're always looking for volunteers. Yep. If you have a kitchen somewhere that feeds the homeless, that can be quite rewarding. There's all sorts of things that people can do to keep themselves busy so that they don't fall back into old ways, but the big thing is when Bobby, the drug dealer, calls you that you used to buy from, you don't pick up the phone. you just learn the caller ID and you go, I know what he wants. Yep. I'm not talking to him. Maybe one day you can witness to Bobby, but not right away. Get yourself strong first. Be like a friend of mine. He said his buddy got saved, and he thought he had a ministry in the bars. So he goes into the bars and they say, I'll buy you a drink. He goes, no, I'm a Christian. I'm just here to tell you about Jesus. And the other guy goes, I'll give you a drink. Well, before he got out of there, he had to call for somebody to come pick him up because he had ministered all night and he was too drunk to leave. So it was, you can't return to those things, the man was an alcoholic, so he had no business there.
I was just going to tell you to bring that up.
Yeah. Chrissy said, this is a church service happening here, and I love it. Exactly. Yep. When 2 or 3 are gathered together in his name, he's there in the midst of them. 1, and 2, 3, this is, And so here we are, we're having church.
Yep. Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah. Well, again, this is the fastest hour on the internet. We have exceeded our time. This has been so incredible. Definitely want to have you back again at some point, and probably just talk about theological stuff, man. We'll talk about some music stuff in the beginning, but then we'll dig into this, because this is so good. This is good for me. to just,
Yeah,
we build each other up with this stuff. So
I've definitely been encouraged today, so this is really good.
yeah, this is really good. So Dale, what do you want to leave our viewers with today? Something encouraging or
Well,
you
yeah.
go,
I mean,
whatever.
just this is a Christian rock heavy metal podcast, and I'd like to see it blow up and do really good. And we've done some interviews recently with other podcasts that I would like to see go on to bigger and better things, and the audiences to grow. Because if this is the new venue for us to be able to share the gospel, maybe more so than even playing shows, then let's keep this up. Let's get a circuit going. Say we have a dozen or 24 podcasts, and you have an artist on. That artist goes to this podcast, and we tour the podcast. That would be quite cool.
Oh,
Like,
that'd be sweet.
today you've got me. Next week you'd have Les Carlson and his wife, and next week you have Rex Carroll or whoever, and then you just do the circuit like that. And when we're not playing, we can still be ministering, because you don't know who is watching this that won't chime in. They just watch it. They don't hit like, they don't say nothing. They just see it and they go on, especially after it's posted and it floats around on YouTube or whatever. So it could definitely help somebody, could encourage somebody. So that's the thing, is just try to be an encouragement, try to do things positive at a positive level. And whatever you do, stop bringing down people that you disagree with, or that maybe you just don't understand, because it's a painful thing for the people, the recipients of just basically meanness. Don't be mean,
Yeah.
So,
find a common ground, right?
Yeah, there's got to be something you can talk about. It could be baseball, not politics, but it could be baseball, football. I don't know, fashion. I don't know what people talk about, but if theology is not your thing, and you're not getting along with somebody because of theology, then that's pretty sad, because one of you is a bigot, and one of you is biased, and one of you is prejudiced.
So Dale, on the 30th, we're gonna do a live podcast for the CD release. So if you're able to, that'd be cool if you could come in for like 10 minutes or something. I don't know. So just look at your schedule. Let me know what's going on.
I'll be in Mexico, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll be traveling. I think Mexico's 31st. I'll be traveling on the 30th.
Oh, you will be?
Yeah.
You might be able to pick up your phone and just say, "Hey guys," or something. But don't worry about it.
I'll see. I don't even know what my flight plan is yet. So
Okay.
Yeah. Remind me. Yeah.
Okay, I'll remind you.
All right. And real quick before we sign off, is there a presidential run in your future?
No, because I don't have the money.
So if the funds rolled in, would there be a presidential run in your future?
It'd have to be a lot, because one guy got a seat. It cost him $100 million for just a seat. So if people's got the money, they're going to buy their way in. So it's luckily this time the people spoke. So
Boycott Dale t-shirts.
yeah. I need one that says heretic on it, I reckon.
Do you have any of those
Brian, you got
Dale
any
shirts
parting words?
Oops.
Close out.
What's that?
Do you have any shirts that you sell that say Boycott Dale? That'd be kind of a cool one.
That wasn't my idea. That was Dale Erickson's idea.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
That goes all the way back to a Cornerstone years ago, when somebody was holding up a sign when we pulled in. It said Boycott Dale. So I took the sign from him and put it up on stage. So,
awesome.
the whole show, I had a sign Boycott Dale on Cornerstone stage.
I'll probably have to make a shirt like that. Maybe I can talk to Anthony Gober and
yeah. Yeah, I could.
All right, Brian, any parting words for today?
Do what we just talked about. Find common ground with each other. Stay in the word. Pray for each other. If you disagree with somebody, pray with them, and pray for yourself, because maybe there's something you're misunderstanding. And dig deeper. Don't just go on the surface. Don't just believe what your pastor's saying or what you saw on TV. Dig deeper.
Absolutely.
And read the word every day.
Read and learn for yourself. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thanks for everybody that was here. Thank you, Dale, for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule. Looking forward to what's coming next, and going to be spending a lot of time enjoying the new album and promoting it. And bridepub.com. Get it
That's
before it's gone. All right.
Mm.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
See ya.